Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. The only assignment you guys have today is to finish the ratio lab. If you had questions on it, I was going to be here, and I want to talk about it a little bit too for those of you that might be interested. Because it is kind of a interesting number that we should be seeing, and that's going to depend based on uh, how well you measured things and stuff. And I am comparing the number to pi today, just to give you an idea that you've worked with pi a little bit. So we can see how we work with phi. But phi is the golden ratio. That is the number that you should be coming up with, or at least getting close to. You're not going to be perfect at it because it is an irrational number, just like pi. Uh, but yeah, that's what you should be getting. No, you don't have to if you don't want to. I just was here if you had questions about things, maybe about that number. I'll be hanging on for a little bit, but you're not required. If you got the lab done, that's what your grade's about. We will debrief the lab on probably Tuesday anyways. Just wanted to answer any questions if you guys had them. So yeah, we're just answering questions on Ratio Lab if you got them. If you have a question on any of it, shoot it my way. If you didn't understand what it was asking you to do or anything like that, weren't able to finish it for some reason, let me know. I think most of you guys have turned it in. Where do I put the numbers I got? Let me bring it up. You should be putting them. This here is your document. You should measure your distances, and you should put your distances underneath so you know which numbers they are. Over here is where you should show me your work for things. So distance divided by your belly button distance to ground divided by distance of belly button top of your head. Put that number there. And then you're also going to take these same exact numbers that you got here. You're going to come down to this table. You're going to type your name in here. So type your name in, and then whatever you got for problem 1 here, put that number here. Problem 2 there, 3 there, 4 there, 5 there. Once you have that, you're also going to take this information and you are going to put it in the discussion question that is in the classroom. You can just copy and paste it into there. And while you're in that discussion question, you're going to look to see what other people wrote. So your question is right here. You can look into it. View question. And yours looks a little different than mine, but you can sit there and you can see what other people wrote. So here's Lily's answers. What you're going to do is you're going to take Lily's name, and underneath yours you're going to write Lily's name. And then you're going to take Lily's answers. So her first one was 1.5. So over here you're going to write 1.5, and so on and so forth. Alright, hold on a minute. I think we're having an issue with some other people. And so on. Alright. Again, if there's questions or something, now's a good time to ask. You can always email me too. But just for your reference, all your answers should be around this number here. They're not going to be exact, and it's going to be dependent upon how you're measuring, what units you're using to measure, and honestly, whether you're in the middle of a growth spurt or not as well, which all of you probably are, because you're still growing. So you should be getting numbers at least close to that. Getting numbers less than 1 doesn't really make much sense. Getting numbers too much higher than 2 isn't going to make much sense. Like 3 is definitely going to be out. But you have 3 empty, then you need to find more from the discussion, Ryan. So you should be putting yours in there, and then you should be putting 5 other people's. So student answers, like I'm looking at it. Lily has something, Gianna has something, Hannah has something, Catherine, Eli, Charlie, Kelsey, Logan, Aaron, Evie, Lyra. All of them have data for you to pick from. You need to pick 5 of those people. So say you want Kelsey's, go in the Kelsey's, there's Kelsey's. I know yours looks a little different than mine, but you should be able to find them. Let's see, A, B, C, B. I don't know. Distance A is given right here by this diagram. So that from your knuckle to your fingertip, distance B would be from between your two knuckles here, and distance C would be from your last knuckle to your middle knuckle, however it is. And Eli, we're going to be doing proportional relationship on Monday. So if you want to hold off till Monday, you can. You can give it a shot. I mean, you can look at it. I don't know how much more explanation I can give you, but I mean, there's a slideshow attached to it and stuff like that. I just wanted to give people more time to do the ratio lab because I wasn't sure how well a lab would work out at your guys' houses and stuff. But then you put all your numbers in there, and again, what you should notice about them is they are kind of like averaging around this number here, so to speak. You should keep getting numbers that are close to this number. And this is your golden ratio, which is called phi, but it is an irrational number, so you're probably not going to get that exact answer, just because you're not going to be able to measure an irrational number with a ruler. No one the straight line down. What do you mean, Ryan? Can you clarify that? No, on the straight line down. I think I did too, but I also put a comment on it with the correct link. That's why I was taking a minute here to do this. I can double check. But again, if I'm just here to answer questions on the golden ratio. If you didn't understand the golden ratio, basically it's explaining where this is found in nature all the time. The golden ratio is a pretty interesting number. It comes up a lot in nature. I mean, just looking at what you measured, like, so if you had your body here, right, and your belly button, say, is about here, right, this distance here compared to this distance here is a ratio of phi, which is 1.6180339, so on, right? So you saw that distance. You also looked at the distances in your hand, but also if you look at your arm, right, you have an arm here, your little robot hand, right? This distance of your from your wrist to your elbow and from your elbow to your shoulder, the ratio of those two distances is also phi, which is at 1.6180339. And then you looked at your knuckles in your hands, right? I can draw a finger any good. You have your first knuckle and your second knuckle and your fingernail, and then your other fingers or whatever. I'm horrible at drawing, but the ratio between this and this is also phi, and the ratio between this and this and this is also phi. It's also phi. And I threw out the Fibonacci sequence here too because that has a ratio of phi as well. If I start doing each ratio, like if I take the ratio of these two numbers and I do 21 divided by 13, and if I do 13 divided by 8, yeah, they're all going to be different, but as the sequence goes on and on and on, you're going to get that it's going to get closer and closer to phi. So it's going to keep converging onto phi. It was just a neat number I was sharing with you as a lab. You're not going to be tested on it or anything like that. but this is the number you should be getting for everything, and we give that number a special name. It's called phi, and it's like this, just like pi has a special name and a symbol. Pi is irrational. Well, so is this. It's going to go on forever. It's not going to repeat. It's a number just very similar to how pi works, but it is just found in nature everywhere. The video was explaining through flowers, and if you ever look at flower petals and the sizes of flower petals, they go by the Fibonacci sequence as well, which goes by phi. So phi would also be there. Will we ever have to know it? I don't know if you ever have to. It's an interesting number. That's why I thought I'd share it with you. I'm not going to test you on it. I just thought you should be aware that this number exists, and it exists throughout nature everywhere. So if you ever wonder why math relates to nature, it's pretty specifically this ratio right here is found in it. The other place that you see it a lot is shellfish. If you ever look for seashells, and you know seashells tend to spiral like that. And if you ever cut open the seashell, you'll note that it is actually in sections for support with that spiral. And the ratio of the sections next to each other, so this section compared to this section here, that ratio is also phi. So it will always come out to be that 1.618033 whatever. No, Catherine, you don't need to write it down. Flower petal thing. Okay, so in the video he made a computer program, and on his computer program he was making different types of flowers. So if you had a flower, and say you had the starting point here, and around the flower you would want your petals to be. Well, if you put your petals, like, hey, I'm going to put a petal one third of the way each time, you're going to get 3, and then this would be a third distance, put another one, this would be a third distance, put another one, this would be a third distance, put another one, this would be a third of a distance, put another one, this would be a third of a distance, put another one. Your flower is going to grow like and then your next petal would be underneath it. And we don't have flowers that look like this. This is not how flowers grow, so to speak. So flowers don't go with a ratio of 1 to 3. And they don't go with ratios of whole numbers. I mean, even if you had ratios of, I don't know, like 1.5, right? Then your flower is going to look like this. And we don't have flowers that look like this either. In fact, this is a fairly boring flower, and the petals just kind of go under and under it. So what his computer program said was, well, is there a number that actually represents what flowers actually look like? And there is. There's a few of them, but the smallest of those ratios, and all the other ones will be kind of equivalent ratios of it, you just do it, is phi. So this will be the first number that does it. So if I have my flower here, and I make my first petal here, the distance from here to the next petal is going to be phi, which is 1.618, so on, whatever I'm measuring it in. My next petal will be there, the next distance will be there, and so on. And you're never going to get another petal right on top of another one. I can make that larger. Because flowers don't do that, right? There's your middle. My first petal would be like here. The next petal would be one something over, it'll be there, and then when you go all the way around, your next petal's not going to line up exactly. It's going to be slightly underneath, and you're going to get a flower that has petals all the way around it, but they never stand directly on top of each other because they're following this ratio, and it will never end up on another pedal in the exact same spot. And only an irrational number is going to do that. It's just that phi is the smallest one that does it. And there are irrational numbers that won't do it too. So that's what he was explaining. I don't know how much time you spend to look at phi, phi, right here. And do not confuse it with theta. Don't confuse it with theta. Phi, the line is vertical, theta, the line is horizontal. This is used in trig for angle measurements. So if you have a triangle, I want, what's that degrees? That's my unknown degrees. And now I'm not sure how to write it, typing it. Is trig trigonometry? Yeah, trig trigonometry. We did a little bit of that with your on Pi Day, but trig's fun. So finding sine, cosine, things like that. Any other questions about the lab in general? Were the instructions easy enough to follow? Let's see, looking at it. Did you do it right? Maybe. Again, it's not, I can't really grade this for accuracy due to the fact that you're all going to measure differently. But these measurements here are all going to be different for everybody. You're all different sizes. So I don't know what your actual measurements are. It doesn't really matter to me. These numbers that you get from your measurements, those all should be roughly around the number phi, which is that this 1.61823. Now, depending on how you measure it, I can see this being between like anywhere between 1 and, no, you don't know this notation, anywhere between, so your answer could be, has to be probably greater than 1 and less than probably 3 would make it an idea of it. So if you're anywhere within that ballpark, that is a fairly large range, but I can see some of you getting as high as 3. I can see some of you getting as low as 1, but not really much lower than that. If you still have a bar left, as in that table, just keep taking them from the discussion. So it should be you and 2, 3, 4, 5 other people in there. So just keep taking them from discussion. What do you mean by where is it, Catherine? And yeah, the distances are not phi. The ratio between the distances are phi. So this is the ratio between what you measured. And again, you're not a fully grown adult, so your numbers are going to be a bit off. That's why I'm giving you kind of a range to look for. But a lot of you, even yesterday, you guys were getting like 1.6 something, which is a phenomenal number with the accuracy you're measuring with. to get even that close. So that was pretty good. And a lot of you were getting like 1.5s, and a lot of you were getting like 1.7s for things. Like in Google Docs, or what do you mean? The notes and stuff I'm giving you, you don't have to write down. It's just interesting to know. But the Google Docs you're turning in is this lab that you did yesterday. So with your numbers in here, that's what I want to see. Yeah, that's all you're turning in to me today. I just wanted to get on and answer some questions about it, see if anybody was having any issues with it and things like that. But that's all that's due today. I know something else unlocked today. I thought I told it not to, but apparently I'm not very good at that because it's automated. I had all your assignments automated this week. You do not have to do your graphing proportional relationships. You can look at it, you can try it. It's not difficult, but we'll cover that Monday or Tuesday depending on how this weekend goes with what information I'm getting back from everybody in all the classes and stuff. But if you don't have any more questions on it, I'm going to end it and just assume if you do come up with a question, you're going to email me and find it. Make sure you get your science in. Today is the last day for anything that's on option C. So look on option C. If it says you're missing something, either get it into me or shoot me an email about why you might be missing it. I know a lot of you have been doing the quizzes today, and I just haven't gotten to rechecking the quizzes. So give me some time, and then Monday we can discuss what's all missing and everything like that you still need to turn in. So once you do the lab, no more math, not for today. The test for science, no. Tests we're going to put on the next 9 weeks. I still have people who need to look over some more information and stuff like that. It is posted. You can take it when you like, but it is not due today. It's not going to be on this 9 weeks. It'll be on the last quarter. And for the last quarter, it has to be on the last quarter because there's no quarter after that. So. Where do you get others' graphs? Graphs for the ratio lab, you get it in the discussion question. So go back into, wasn't it? Go back into the classroom. So your classroom looks kind of like this. Go back into the classroom, you're going to click on classwork, and you're going to find your discussion question. What were your ratios from the lab? You're going to go here, and then you're going to go to view question, and you'll see everybody's response. And all you need to do is pick 5 people's and post your own. I haven't looked at the test yet, Eli. Probably because you threw the evidence out there for it, but I haven't looked at the question. I haven't looked at that test yet. I'm slowly getting to it, but again, it's not on this 9 weeks, so it's not one of the priorities. I will look at it hopefully this weekend, but if not, next week sometime. But I do have your email. It's saved away, so. Apparently you have to click see classmates answers according to Eli Ryan. Mine looks different than yours, so I'm not exactly sure. Any other questions? Again, Monday's technically a half day, so I'm not sure how much we're going to cover. And end of the 9 weeks is today, so get your stuff in. Double check option C for what you're missing. There you go, Eli. With that, I guess we're going to end this. Will there be a stream on Monday since it's a half day? I'm going to try. I don't know how long I'll stay on, but I'm going to try. It is already scheduled and it's already kind of posted, I think. But I'm going to try to get on. Alright, if you have any other questions, feel free to email me. What time will the stream be? Same time. I'm not going to mess with the times. I'm going to try to do it at 1:20. Half day to me just means you are doing half the work that you would normally do during a day, which I'm not really sure what is. I don't even know if I'm giving you too much work or too little work yet. So we're playing it by ear, seeing what happens. But yeah, again, I'm ending this. Any more questions, email me. I will talk to you guys Monday, if not beforehand.